Hello and welcome to Disney Travel Tales, a podcast that allows you to immerse yourself in someone's recent Disney trip. I'm Jenny, and I'm so happy to be here with you talking about my favorite thing, Disney trips. Join us every Friday as we explore the parks or cruise ships with a new guest and learn inside tips and tricks to hopefully help make your vacation go a little smoother. Make sure to subscribe to the show wherever you are listening so you never miss a new episode, and I would love it if you left a positive review on Apple Podcast or Spotify. This is the easiest way to support the podcast. Another way to support the podcast is to use me as your travel agent at no cost to you. Email me at jenny@trolleylanetravel.com. Let me do all the hard planning while you sit back and count down the days to your vacation. Okay, so let's get going with today's show. Hello and welcome to Disney Travel Tales, episode number 72. I am here with Morgan, and we are going to chat about her April trip to Walt Disney World, where she explored the parks and ran in the Run Disney's Springtime Surprise. Morgan, thank you so much for coming on the show today. How are you?
I'm great. How are you today, Jenny?
Doing well. I'm
Good.
so excited to talk to you. We've chatted on Instagram a little bit, and this is going to be great.
I'm so excited.
Yes. Okay, so let's just roll straight into your trip. Well, before we do that, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your experience with Disney vacations?
Okay, so I am a tried and true Disney adult. I didn't go to Disney until I was 24. Yeah, I was 24 when I went to Disney for the first time, but my entire life has been all about princesses and Disney and watch the movies, gone to Disney on Ice, but never actually set foot into Disney World until I was an adult. And then from that time on, I decided, I said, my kids will never know a day without Disney because this is just magic. So since then, we became annual pass holders in February of 2020, and then 2020 happened. And then we didn't go back until I went once before I had my youngest child. And then after I had him, he's gone to Disney 15 times in 2 years, I think.
That's amazing. So, I'm jealous of him.
I joke that my 2-year-old has gone to Disney more than most adults.
Oh, for sure.
I decided, this is just what we're going to do. My husband isn't as on board with Disney as I am, but my kids and I love it, so we go all the time. So I decided in November of 2021 that I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to be a travel agent. So I became a travel agent with Academy Travel, and the great thing about travel agents is we all, no matter who we work for, we all kind of share ideas, communicate, all that fun stuff. So I have that. I was like, that could be my Disney outlet. And then my mom and I decided to start doing Run Disney together. So we started that as kind of our thing. And over the last few races, I've pulled some of my friends in. She's pulled one of her friends in. And we just made it this big fun girls trip type deal.
That's so fun.
That's about my Disney history.
I love it. Yeah, that's just so great. And honestly, I went to Disney as a kid once when I was young and once in high school, but it is just so much better when you're an adult. Yes. It's just, I love it. So I totally relate to your story. Like, I liked it as a kid, but when I went back as an adult, I was like, I love this.
That's exactly how I feel.
It's so fantastic. Okay.
I love it.
So let's just talk about your trip now. All right. So what were the dates of your travel?
So we were there from April the 13th. Yeah, we arrived on April the 13th and we left on April the 16th. The race was on the 15th. So we had like a couple days. Nope. We arrived on the 12th. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah.
I don't have anything in front of me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
We arrived on the 12th. We did 2 park days and then a race day where we went to Magic Kingdom after that. And then the Sunday, which was the 16th, I decided I'm going to go to Hollywood Studios until we're ready to leave. So we did that. We had 3 park days planned, and then I just kind of threw in the extra one. So That was about it. We stayed at Art of Animation, and this was the super magical part because we got pixie dusted. I've never been pixie dusted before by a resort. We were supposed to stay in the Little Mermaid rooms, and we got upgraded to a Cars family suite, which I was like, what? This actually happens to people?
I know, that's so cool.
It was awesome. So there were 3 of us staying, so we all had a bed to ourselves. I did not realize how big those suites are. I mean, they're big, but they're small, but they're perfect for like, I have a family of 5, so my family would be able to perfectly fit in one of those. Mm-hmm. So that was awesome. I think that's it about the dates where we stayed.
Was that your first time staying in one of the family suites?
Yes, I've done a couple of the like standard rooms, but I've never stayed at Art of Animation before, so that was my first time staying there.
Yeah, those suites are so nice. We stayed there as a family of 5 and loved it. Like, fell in love with it.
I really loved it.
So who did you travel with?
I traveled with my mom and her friend. This was her friend's first Run Disney weekend, first race ever. And she was just excited to be able to go and run, go on a roll strip and all that kind of stuff. So my mom and I have done, we did Princess 2022. Yeah, 2022 was our first race together. We did the 10K. Then last November, I did the Wine and Dine Challenge. So I ran a 10K on Saturday and a half marathon on Sunday. And then Springtime Surprise was my 3rd race weekend. And we all ran the 10K.
Okay, so let's take a little break and talk about Run Disney a little bit. So when y'all got into Run Disney, were y'all experienced runners at the time?
No, absolutely not. So I was 8 months postpartum with my youngest.
Oh my gosh.
And I was just wanting something. Yeah, I was just wanting something to get me moving and outside, something that I could do with him. So my mom and I got to talking, and we're like, we love Disney. We both want to do something to get us active. Why don't we train for this race? So we registered, and about a week before, I was like, I don't know that I can do this. Like my nerves kept taking over. We did it, and it was amazing, and I fell in love immediately. So I tell everybody when they're registered for their first races, I'm like, get ready because it's an addiction. Because just the feel of a Run Disney race weekend is different when you're there to run. Mm-hmm. I mean, Disney's magical already, but when you're there to conquer something that is a huge goal for you, that just makes it even more magical and special.
Hey parents, do your kids listen to podcasts? Do they like solving mysteries and flexing their imaginations? Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is a new children's mystery podcast. Your kid can join Billy Bonanza and Susie Sockington on exciting and wacky adventures as they attempt to solve mysteries around their school. Mysteries at Riddleton Elementary is available now on all podcast platforms.
Yeah, and being surrounded by people who are there experiencing the same thing.
Yeah.
That's
the feeling. I mean, I know I posted on Instagram the other day about the finish line feels, and the electric energy that is out of Run Disney race is amazing. Like from the start, you get there. Granted, it's 3:30 in the morning. That's the only downside to it. They want you there early. But you get there. There's DJs. There's music. There's characters doing meet and greets. I mean, it's a lot, but it is so electric, so fun, and there's literally nothing else like it. I just love it so much.
I love it, and I love that you're doing it with your mom. That is so cool. Like, I've talked to people who've done it with their friends and their husbands, but to do it with your mom, that's so special. I love it.
And we usually run together. But this last time, I was a little more trained up than she was, so I ran off, and I actually did a personal best for my 10K at this last race. So I was like, yes, this is so great.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so we'll talk more about the race later.
Okay.
So you drive to Orlando, right? Because you're in driving distance.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It takes us about 7-ish hours to get there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a bad drive. We drive it. We joke all the time that we're close enough to take a weekend trip.
Yeah, you really are, because 7 hours is not bad.
Oh, no. We can jump in the car and be there. Like, we usually leave early, be there just after lunch.
Okay, so let's just talk about your arrival day. So once y'all got there, did you go straight to your resort?
We did. So we wound up not leaving. My mom's a teacher, so we didn't leave until after she got out of school. So it was late when we got down there, about midnight-ish. So we went straight to our animation. I was a little nervous because I did mobile check-in, and I said we would be there about 10:30, 11. 10:30, 11 rolled around, and I didn't have a room. My room number hadn't popped up in the app. I was like, what is going on?
Yes.
What are we there to our reservation in? What in the world? Finally, it popped up, and it was a card room, and I'm like, this isn't right. But sure enough, they gave us a little dose of pixie dust and upgraded our room. But since we got there so late, nothing was open, so we just kind of walked right around our area, looked at all the cards, decorations, and everything, and then went straight to our room and crashed.
I bet. So let's talk about the next day. What y'all do when y'all woke up?
So we got up and we went to Hollywood Studios. We did rope drop, early entry for resort guests, and rode Rise of the Resistance. It was my first time ever riding it.
I can't believe that. When you put that on Instagram, I was like, what?
I know. Everybody was like, what? You couldn't Disney this many times? I'm like, yeah, I know. I said, I always have our kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not a huge Star Wars person, so it's never been a huge priority to me.
Right.
But now it is, because I realize that ride is amazing. Even if you're not a Star Wars person, that ride is awesome. But we did Rise of the Resistance during that early entry time. Grabbed some breakfast. Finally tried the Black Calf Cold Brew from Katsaka's. Really good. And we did use Genie Plus this day, so we had booked the Lightning Lane at 7 a.m. for Sleepy Dog. But it wasn't until 1-ish, 12:30, 1 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
It was at 12:30 because we had a Roundup Rodeo reservation also. This was the day of all the reservations.
Yes.
But also at 7 a.m. we booked a Tron Lightning Lane for 5 o'clock that afternoon, I think. So that morning we got up, went to Hollywood Studios, rode rides, kind of wandered around, got some food, walked over to Tower of Terror. And this was that day where some of the spring break Easter crowds were starting to clear out, but your Run Disney crowds were coming in. So wait times were kind of all over the place. I think the posted wait for Tower was 60 minutes, and we waited 20.
Yeah, that's not
so
bad.
It was okay, I'm cool with this.
Yeah.
So we rode a couple of rides at Hollywood Studios, went back over to Roundup Rodeo, ate there.
So let's talk about this.
Let's talk about that.
Let's talk about this, because this is a new restaurant, and I'm hearing such mixed reviews about it. So let's talk about your experience. So when y'all get there, what is it like when you go into the restaurant?
So when you go in, it really, the Toy Story Land feels like you're a toy, you're streaking down to the size of a toy, you're in the backyard. So when you walk into the restaurant, it is just like that. It's like you're walking into a board game almost. So we walk in, we get seated, and this is going to be my personal experience. I'm not saying this is going to be everybody's experience, but my personal experience was not the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
We got in, sat down. The cast members who were seating us were fantastic. Absolutely nothing wrong with them. But we sat for about 10, 15 minutes. Our server showed up and said, "Oh, just got your table at the same time. I'll be back in just a minute." Another 15, 20 minutes went by.
What?
We finally got our drink order. Yes.
Oh,
so, yes. Finally got our drink order. She brought me the wrong drink. Tried to argue with me about it. And I was like, no, I ordered this. I didn't order this. She said, oh, okay. And got it. So I was like, oh, okay. Maybe she's just having a bad day.
Yeah.
but the food was great. We got your the big meat platter sampler, and I think we got mac and cheese, the potato barrels. What else did we get? I don't even remember. Pickle spears and something else. I don't remember. But the standout to me at Roundup Radio was the salads. They're so good. But it's very cute. Go, take your kids. I might not go back. I may go back just to try to get a better experience. But my experience was not the greatest because of our server. And I know everybody has bad days.
Mm-hmm.
But so I'm not pinning it all on the server, but your server really plays a part into your experience. So
yes, it really does. I mean, I've been at places where the food's just okay, but we had such a great experience. I left there feeling good.
Yeah. So the food is great. It's good. Well, it's good. Hollywood Studios needed a good sit-down restaurant, but being from the South, I feel like I know barbecue very well. And it was just kind of okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you could tell it was smoked there, cooked there, wasn't like hailed from home. But it was just kind of like, this is good food, but it's like, I've had better.
Yeah.
So
it's kind of dangerous when you are from somewhere where barbecue is like a staple to eat it somewhere else. Like I'm a Texan, and every time we eat barbecue somewhere, we're just like, meh.
Yep. But I mean, we saw kids riding in on the little horse head on a stick thing. So, I mean, the experience would be great for your kids. The food is not the most kid-friendly. We sat beside mom, dad, 2 kids, and the mom was like, please eat your chicken. Please eat your macaroni. Please do this. And I'm like, yeah, my kids won't eat this.
Yeah.
My kids are strictly chicken nuggets. And they say no substitutions in their platters, their meat platters. So I'm like, no, we may not come here for a little while.
Yeah, that's really
boys
tough.
are 3 and 2, so they're not gonna eat a whole lot.
Yeah, because it's like chicken and ribs. I mean,
yeah.
It's not really geared for little kids.
No, but you think and this is just my opinion. I feel like Disney missed the mark on either Toy Story character dining or, Pizza Planet. So that's just my feels on it.
I agree. I was shocked there was not going to be characters. Like, I don't understand that at all.
And it's very tight. Like, everybody's very tightly packed in there.
Maybe
Have you been there yet?
No.
Okay. I'm not saying don't go, but just, be aware that it's not the most kid-friendly, especially if you have picky eaters like I do.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I'm going in June with my 17-year-old, and we were going to go because he grew up on Toy Story. But then after I've heard everyone talk about it, I'm like, I don't think we're going to do it because I just...
No, he would probably enjoy it a little better.
Okay, because he would eat the food at least.
Yeah, I think, and it's really cute. They have lots of, like, voiceover things. They have a part where Andy comes and you have to freeze, like, whatever you're doing. Like, I watched me, a server, like, putting food out on a table and had to like stop.
Oh, that's funny.
Completely like holding food in the air.
Yeah.
It was really cute. But it probably won't be something we do every trip.
Yeah. Oh, that's so frustrating. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe they will learn.
I hope so. We went a week after it opened. Yeah. So maybe they're still working out the kinks.
For sure. Fingers crossed, right?
Yes, right. Yes.
Okay, so what'd y'all do after lunch?
What did we do after lunch? We decided to split off. The next day we went to Race Expo. We decided to split off and go back to our resort and go to Magic Kingdom. So my mom and her friend went on to Magic Kingdom. I went back to do an outfit change because you're at Disney. You have to have an outfit change for every park.
You do.
So I went back, rode the Skyliner back over to our resort, and then rode a bus over to Magic Kingdom. And I joked all weekend because I was the bus princess. Every time I would either walk up to the bus stop or be walking up close to the bus stop, either a bus would be pulling up or a bus would be sitting there already. So I'm like,
that's amazing. Like, that is pixie dust.
Yes, even like park hopping, getting on buses, just bus right there. I'm like, this never happens. This doesn't happen.
This literally never happened to me. I have the worst bus luck. Like, I'm cursed. I'm cursed with the buses.
Yes. So I was walking, because, in your Disney app, you can look and see what time the buses arrive.
Mm-hmm.
And it said it wouldn't be there till, 2:15 or something like that. So I was like, okay, I got time to stroll a little Econ Paint shop, spend money I didn't really need to spend.
That's a great
and I walked
gift
around
shop,
the corner
isn't
into
it?
the shop, and I'm like, there's a bus sitting there. So I scooted on outside and got right on the bus.
Oh, my gosh. You're so
and
lucky.
I'm like, the guy said, yeah, I saw you walking over here, so I was just going to hang out, make sure you're coming to Magic Kingdom. I said, oh, yeah, thank you so much.
That's awesome.
So that was, and then that day, we went over to Magic Kingdom that afternoon, rode Tron, which was great. It's really short, but it's a great ride. Magic Kingdom needed a good thrill ride.
And y'all bought the
kind of,
Lightning Lane, not the virtual queue for this?
Yes, we
Okay.
purchased the Lightning Lane, yes.
And is that lane shorter? Because I've heard kind of that lane shorter than the queue line.
Yes, it takes you where the queue line takes you in and wraps you all through. Because the next day I did a virtual queue.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Saturday I did a virtual queue. The individual Lightning Lane, you walk up, scan in, walk straight in and into that first room where they do the pre-show type thing.
That's nice.
And then from there you walk down and around behind where all the virtual queue people
Mm-hmm.
are, and you're straight there in the line.
That's
so
awesome.
It's really fast if you're
Mm-hmm.
doing individual Lightning Lane. But the queue is it's kind of boring, but it's kind of cool at the same time. So yeah, I like Tron. I'll ride it every time I go because I love a good thrill.
Yeah.
The seat is weird. I think I posted a video on my Instagram story trying to get in the seat, and I'm like, this just feels weird.
Yes, that's what I've heard.
It's fun though. It's a lot of fun. If you've been to Universal and rode Hagrid's Magical Motorbike ride, it's similar to that,
That's a good
but not
comparison.
quite. You have to sit down in the seat on Tron. It's interesting.
They're just keeping it interesting for everyone.
Absolutely.
Can't all be the same.
No.
When was the last time you visited a Disney park? For many adults, it's been a really long time. I would love to help you fix that situation. As a travel agent specializing in Disney, my job is to make sure your vacation can go as seamless as possible. All of my services are complimentary to my clients. Yes, you heard that right. I'm free to you. These services include helping you from the start finding the perfect resort to fit your needs, handling all the bookings and reservations, helping to teach you about the parks, because if it's been a while, man, have they changed. I have insider tips and tricks I share with all of my clients, and I will be your single point of contact throughout your entire trip, even while you are there. Don't wait another year to visit a Disney park or go on a Disney cruise. Let this be the year you finally go. Email me at jenny@trolleylanetravel.com to get the conversation started, or see the link in the show notes to fill out my quote form. All listeners that book a trip with me will receive a $20 gift card to use on their trip. Just make sure you say you heard this on the podcast. Okay, now back to the show. So what was after Tron?
After Tron, we just kind of hung out. Got some ice cream. I'm a tropical serenade fan. My mom is a Orangeburg citrus swirl fan. So we went our separate ways there, got our ice cream of choice, and went and just kind of hung out. And then we were like, yeah, we're kind of done. So we went back to our resort. It was about 8-ish, 9-ish at this point, and decided we're whooped because the night before was a late night. We're going to bed. Because the next day we were like, we're going to go to bed early. And we were at Animal Kingdom the next day. So we were like, we're going to get up early and rope drop.
Mm-hmm.
That didn't happen. But so that night we cut it short about 8, 9 o'clock. So we just kind of wandered. We rode a couple rides, like Little Mermaid. We did Big Thunder. We did Pirates. All on Genie Plus.
What were the crowds like at Magic Kingdom this day?
They really weren't bad. I've been there the week of Christmas, and that is bad. But this was maybe a Labor Day, Memorial Day weekend kind of crowds. So it was busy, but not like packed.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then as the week progressed and into the weekend, there was like nobody there.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes. So usually on race weekends, it's a little more crowded, but a lot of your racers don't do a lot of park time because you're paid for a race and then you got to pay for a park ticket and a resort, so it can get expensive.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times the racers don't do a whole lot of parks. We do, but some people I've talked to don't.
Yeah, because it's an early time, especially if you're running all the races. That's exhausting.
Yes. I'm not doing all the races this coming up season. I am planning to do the challenges for Princess and Springtime Surprise next year, though.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
That is awesome.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. Okay, so then let's move on to your next day. What'd y'all do?
Okay, so we got up and we were going to rope drop Fly Passage in Animal Kingdom, but it didn't happen. So we got up. We got there about 8:15ish because the park opened at 8. Decided we were going to go do the safari first. And I'm like, I've always heard the morning safaris are the best. We're just going to go get on a safari. So we waited about 15 minutes for the safari. And if you have the opportunity to do a morning safari, do it. Because animals were everywhere. Like up, moving around. I have never seen that many animals that active on a safari before. We had to stop a few times for a rhino in the road. There was a giraffe. Like we had 3 or 4 giraffes that tried to eat stuff off the top of our truck. It was just the coolest thing.
That's funny.
And then the lions were the most active I've ever seen them. All the animals were just so active. Like I've never seen them that active. And I'm like, yep, my biggest suggestion from now on is going to be do the morning safari.
Absolutely. That's what I always tell people. Or I've done the very last safari of the day, and they're really active then too.
Yes. So like early morning or like at the end of the day?
Like literally the end.
Oh yeah, the last ride of the day. And then after that, we went and grabbed some food, hung around for a little while. We just kind of made our way over to Asia because we knew we wanted to ride Everest. We rode Everest. I think we rode Everest, then got food because Everest on a full summit.
Yes.
So we waited like maybe 20 minutes for Everest, rode it. It was amazing. And then got food and just kind of wandered for a little while. We kind of wandered over to Diamond Land. Didn't really do a whole lot this day.
Mm-hmm.
And then we went over to Pandora. I wanted cheeseburger spring pods. So I got those, ate those on the way out, and then we went to the Race Expo after that. So if you don't do Run Disney, the Race Expo is where you get your bibs, your shirts, and you can buy all of the race merch. So we went, it's at the ESPN area. So we went and we got our bibs. We went and got our shirts. We wandered. They have vendors set up so you can like buy shoes, skirts, socks,
cool.
Whatever. Oh yeah, it's so neat. Like the Fit to Run store at Disney Springs has a whole big setup where they have shoes and clothes and pain relief stuff. You know,
that's awesome. So if you forget something, you can buy it there.
Absolutely,
yes. Oh my gosh, that's great.
And that's part of the reason why they do it. Like, I've seen a lot of people show up and be like, oh my gosh, I forgot my costume at home.
Yeah.
So they'll go to the expo and they have skirts. I know Sparkle Athletics there. There's a few other, I'm just a Sparkle Athletic person. They have a few other clothing vendors there. It's awesome. And then you can walk over to the big front building, and that's where they have all of the actual race merch. Mm-hmm. This year I didn't. I usually get a pin for every race that I run, but this year they didn't have any 10K pins for some reason. Whether they were sold out by the time we got there, I don't know. But we just kind of strolled the merch. They have photo op spots. They had some characters. So, I mean, Disney really does it up for these races. Like, they're like, you're here to have a great time. we're going to give everything we can to you. And then after that, we went to Epcot for Flower and Garden. We had bought the Lightning Lane for Guardians, so we rode that about 3-ish. And then just kind of hung out at Epcot because, I mean, that's why you go to Epcot.
Yes, it's the best part.
Yeah. So we kind of strolled, we ate a few things. And this was the funny part, is we got on the boat that takes you from Canada over to Morocco.
Uh-huh.
And we got over there, and we got, like, the couple of things that we wanted from that side. I wanted the tres leches from the Encanto booth. My mom and her friend wanted the hummus from Morocco. So we kind of got our things, went back in the middle, and we're all sitting there, we're like, tired. So we cut our day short about 6 o'clock that day. I made my reel about starting in Mexico, but I never stepped foot in Mexico that day. So we did that. Then we're like, you know what? I'm just ready to get in bed because we had a race the next morning. So by 7:30, 8 o'clock, we were asleep.
That's
So
smart.
that day was cut short.
Yes, that's smart. Okay, so I do have a question. How did you get to the Run Disney Expo?
So we drove.
Okay. Oh, yeah, because y'all have a car.
Yeah, we have
Yeah.
cars. We drove over there. But they do have buses from every resort going to the expo.
Oh, that's nice.
So, and they run every 15, 20 minutes. There's a cast member out there being like, yes, your bus will be here around this time. They just left. And they're huge charter buses, so tons of people can fit on them.
That's good to know.
So, yeah, Disney, and there's signs everywhere at all the resorts saying, this is where you go, this is how you get there, this is how long your wait's going to be. And they have those for Thursday, Friday, Saturday to the expo,
Mm-hmm.
and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday to their races also.
That's
so you
really
never
good
have
to
to worry
know.
about how you're going to get somewhere.
Yes, because, I mean, when it comes to Disney, it's so big. And
Yes.
you're like, well, what do I do if I don't have a car?
Oh, yeah, but I'm spoiled. We always have our car.
Yes, you're so lucky.
Yes, it's a luxury to have your own car.
It is. Like, oh, I'm way too far to drive.
Yeah.
Unless it was like a long trip. And every time I go, I'm like, I'm going to rent a car this time. But then when you look how expensive a rental car is, when you're not really going to use it, you're just like, oh, I'm not going to rent a car. I'm just going to use the transportation.
Just transportation.
Figure it out. But yeah, it would be so nice to have a car.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
For sure. Okay, so now we're at race day, right?
Yes.
Let's do
So,
this.
race day. If you've ever run a Run Disney race, you know it is a very early morning. They want you in your corrals by 4 a.m., which means if you're riding Disney transportation, you need to be up at like 2:15 to be on your bus by 2:45 to 3, because there have been buses that get lost
Oh my gosh.
because of road closures and everything.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've seen multiple people who are supposed to be in like Corral A get pushed back to Corral D and E because their bus got lost.
Yeah.
So be sure to get on your bus early if you're staying at a resort for a Disney race. But we drove because we had a car. So we got there about 3:15-ish. And like I said, they had the DJ out. They had Mater, Mike and Sully, I think Jesse out to meet before the race. And then they wouldn't let you over to your corral area. They have food trucks out there if you want to eat. They have vendors set up. I mean, it's a whole ordeal.
Yeah.
So we dressed up as I was Mrs. Nesbitt from the first Toy Story movie.
That's so
It was
cute.
wonderful. My mom was Sleepy Dog, and her friend dressed up as Jessie.
Oh,
So
that's
we all had
so
the Toy Story
cute.
thing going on. Even though the theme of the race was Monsters, Inc., but we were like, we'll do Toy Story. It's Pixar weekend.
Yeah.
So that was our costume. Some people dress up like way crazy. Some people dress up not at all. Some people just do like a cute shirt and a sparkly skirt. We kind of were in that in-between area.
Yeah. Where it's like you
So
can
we-
still run, but you look
Yeah,
cute.
you can still run, but you're like, oh yeah, you're this.
Yeah.
But we were finally let to our corral at 3:45-ish. We were in Corral E, because we are slow. I mean, I've worked on my speed since then, but yeah, we're slower. But we got to our corral. We were at the very front of our corral. And then we waited because they don't let runners off until 5 a.m. So we sat in our corral for
that is a long
an hour and a half before we ever got to move around to the start line.
Oh my gosh.
So they have, it's a party at Run Disney mornings. Once you get woken up in. So we finally crossed the start line about 5:45-ish. Like there were people starting or finishing as we were starting. Is the crazy thing.
That is crazy.
But we started about 5:45 and I was done by like 7:30-ish, I think. And I stopped and met some characters. I did my fastest 10K time, but there's characters along the route. I think in the first 2 miles there were like 6 characters. And usually the lines are not like they are in the parks. You get up, there's a photo pass photographer, you run up, you snap your picture, and you run off. So it's not like a full meet and greet, it's just a photo op. They have DJs, they have movie clips playing along the route. It's awesome. But this route took us up. We went through the front Epcot entrance to the parking lot, and then back around to where the bus drop-off is, back behind Epcot, and we did Epcot for a moment, back out by the Skyliner, around the boardwalk area, and then right around the back half of World Showcase. So, technically I did do the whole World Showcase.
Yeah.
But then we run out by Test Track and Guardians and around the backstage area. So if you ever want to see backstage, do a Run Disney race.
Yeah, that's fun.
Oh yeah, it's super fun. And then at the finish line, they had Mickey and Minnie, Donald and Daisy, one of the two. I wasn't really paying attention. I was in tears because I'm like, this is my fastest time ever.
Oh, that's awesome! Congratulations.
And it's just, thank you. It's just a whole feeling of accomplishment when you cross the finish line, and then you get your medal, you get water, Gatorade, and they give you a snack pack of food and a banana. Gotta have your banana.
Yes.
If you've ever run a race, they always give you a banana. And then there's buses at the finish line to take you back to your resort. They also have more character ops. I met Wally.
Oh, that's
Wally.
cute.
He was so cute. At the finish line dance party area, they had a DJ. They had Woody and Buzz out. They had all the same characters from that morning too. So it's just a whole party. It's a party. So then after the race, we drove back to our resort. We showered and we took about a 2-hour nap because we were tired.
Yes.
And then went over to Magic Kingdom. And this day is when we had I also got the Tron 7 a.m. virtual queue while running.
That's impressive.
Yes.
Yes, you're like a professional Disney adult now.
So I got that. I wound up actually showing up a little late for it, but they were like, we're not letting anybody in. But the cast member at the scan gate was like, just scan it and see what happens. So they let me in. I was only about 20 minutes past my hour window. So they let me in. I rode Tron. Then I went and I got some lunch and I met up with Alexa from Saved by Mouse. Met with her and her husband and 2 of their kids. We sat and talked for like hour and a half, 2 hours. That's
fun.
Because, you meet people on the internet and you're like, hey, these are my people.
Yes, it's fantastic.
How have we met?
I know, I love it.
But I hung out with her for a little while, and then my mom and her friend came a little later, and we just kind of hung out. We rode a couple rides. We got some more Dole Whips. We watched the Tiki Room. Just kind of hung out. And then we had the fireworks dessert party that night. And I was so excited for it. So if you've never done the dessert party, it's, $99 a person for the pre and post?
So I literally just booked mine last night. I should know this. Yeah, I think it's $99 a person because we did the pre.
Okay, so we did the pre party. So we checked in at 7:30.
Yeah, 7:30.
And you have a cast member seat you at a table. We were sat on, because if you've ever been to Tomorrowland Terrace, there's 3 levels. So we were sat in the middle level. The bottom level was for the seats and suites, which is the Daring Fireworks party. So we were sat in the middle level so we could see the castle, all the magic. It was wonderful. All you care to enjoy desserts. all you care to enjoy. They had juice, milk, tea, water, lemonade. And they also had wines, beers. They had a champagne that if you mixed with the pog juice was really good. But we did that, and then they told us about 8:30 would be the best time to go over to the viewing area. And the viewing area is in the hub grass right in front of the Plaza restaurant. And then it started to rain and thunder and lightning. And I said, absolutely not. I am staying right here. I have a rain jacket on. The cast members brought us Disney ponchos. So
that's
Disney
nice.
ponchos are not cheap.
No,
So they brought out everybody in the area got a free poncho. So we just kind of rode it out. It rained for about 5 minutes, but then the thunder and lightning wouldn't leave. Finally, about 9:45-ish, they finally started fireworks. Tinkerbell did not fly, but that was okay.
Mm-hmm.
I cried a lot because I just love Happily Ever After. And then what else did we do?
So real quick, what was your, since you are like a seasoned professional, what was your opinion of the reserved seating for the fireworks? Like, did you think it was worth doing the dessert party? Like, how did you feel about that?
I think it's worth it because you get a treat, and it's nice. They have a lot of variety, a lot of stuff, but it's all sweet. So if you're going thinking you're going to have a full meal, not it. They have like some meat, cheese, and crackers, but it's all sugar.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're sensitive to sugar, this might not be for you.
Mm-hmm.
And then the reserved seating was nice to not have to stake out a spot for fireworks. Because I don't like being crammed on Main Street. It makes my anxiety just go sky high.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even suggest it to anybody that books a trip with me. I don't suggest taking out a spot in front of the castle 3 hours early because you're at Disney. You need to enjoy the park. But would I do it again just for the reserved seating? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, I love it. I personally love it. I think it is so worth it. If you can just budget that into your trip, I think it's a great experience overall.
Oh, yes, which I think next time we do it, we talked about doing the seats and suites,
Mm-hmm.
which is during the fireworks, just to kind of gauge what that experience would be like versus what our experience was like.
Yeah.
Which, granted, it rained and it was delayed and everything, but it was still wonderful. It was still magical. I still 10 out of 10 suggest it.
That's awesome.
So that was that night. After fireworks, the Magic Kingdom was at close to 11. So we got some popcorn because at this point I needed something salty.
Yeah.
After all the sugar.
Absorb the sugar.
Popcorn. My mom and her friend went and rode, I think, the Teacups and Dumbo, and I was like, I'm going to ride Big Thunder at night. So I went and rode Big Thunder Mountain twice.
Nice.
As a walk-on before the park closed. So I got off it at like 10:55, and I scooted right on over to Aloha Isle. There was a sweet little cast member sitting at the register. She said, "Hey, ma'am, can I help you?" I said, "Yes, ma'am. Are you still doing ice cream?" She said, "Yeah." So I got the coconut pineapple Dole Whip swirl, just a cup of it. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
That sounds so
And
good.
that's how I ended my Magic Kingdom night. It was magical. By the time we left, I finally met up with my mom and her friend. They wound up leaving me, actually. I just rode bus, again, princess bus, back to the resort. And just enjoyed my evening. There was, like, hardly anybody left on Main Street by the time I got out. I walked through the Emporium for a little bit. Just kind of took my time strolling and enjoying being at Magic Kingdom at night. Because it's, like, even more magical at night.
It's so amazing. I love Magic Kingdom at night. And I love, like, this is the one thing that's so great about doing a trip without kids is you really get to enjoy yourself.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
No crying. No complaining.
Nobody asking to go to the bathroom. Nobody needs a snack. Nobody's whining. It was lovely because I was able to break off by myself and just have that moment of just bliss.
Yes, it's so great. That's wonderful. So you just went back to the resort and crashed.
Because, I mean, crashed. I said, I'm sleeping until I wake up, because the next day we're just getting up and going home. We don't really have to get up and go anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So the next morning, I wake up and I'm like, you know what? I posted on my Instagram story something about Hollywood Studio snacks that night.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up to like 30 messages from people being like, you need to try this, you need to try this, you need to try this. I'm like, I feel like you all are telling me I need to go to Hollywood Studios this morning.
Yeah.
So the great thing about being a pass holder is you can just pop open your app, make a reservation, and go. So I told my mom and her friend, I said, I'm all packed up, taking my stuff to the car, and I'm going to Hollywood Studios for a little bit. So I did, and I didn't ride the first ride, and that's okay. I went to go get the blueberry Mickey waffles from Hollywood Scoops. They had just stopped selling them right before I walked up. They stopped selling them at 10:30, if you didn't know.
That's good to know.
Next time, I'll be at Disney next week, but I don't think I'm doing Hollywood Studios. But next time at Hollywood Studios, I will go get them before 10:30.
Yes.
But after that, I went over to Toy Story Land, put in a mobile order, got a grilled cheese and tater tots with cheese sauce, because you need the cheese sauce.
So good.
Wandered a little bit, got the Black Calf Cold Brew again, it's Galaxy's Edge, and then the Outpost popcorn mix, which tastes almost like spicy Fruit Loops, but it's really good. I know that sounds crazy, but it's really good.
I'm going to try that.
It's really good. And then I wandered out of Galaxy's Edge past where the Muppets area is, and I look over to the left, and there's Powerline Max and Goofy. So I stood in line. My husband, he's actually sitting right here beside me, FaceTimed me during this time as I was about to go meet Max, and I walked up and I said, hey Max, I got somebody that wants to talk to you, and I showed the phone to Max, and my husband's like, oh my gosh!
That's awesome.
It was hilarious. So I met Max, just kind of wandered a little bit, I'm a people watcher, so I just kind of sat and watched and did whatever, and then I noticed that the line for the immediate Hollywood Studios only had like a 20-minute wait. So I was like, maybe I can squeeze this in.
Yeah.
So I got in line for that. There were like 4 people in front of me. I probably waited 10 minutes. I've never done that Mickey and Minnie meet and greet before. So it was so cute, so fun. I cannot wait to take my kids back to do it again.
And that is
Mickey.
Sorcerer Mickey, right? Is he Sorcerer
Yes,
Mickey?
it's Hollywood Minnie. She's in her pink dress,
Yes.
Movie Star Minnie, and Sorcerer Mickey, yes. So I met them. It was magical. Mickey was all excited about my race shirt. He's like, you ran? I said, yes. And I was like, I saw you there. He's like, I remember you.
Oh, that's cute.
It was so cute. I love character interactions.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest tip about a character interaction is find something about that character to kind of chat about. So Mickey was dressed up as Sorcerer Mickey. I asked him, has he been making any mischief with his magic? And he's like, me? No, absolutely not. And then Minnie, I asked her, was Mickey directing her movie? And she said, yes.
Oh, that's cute.
It was so sweet. It's so sweet. And then after that, I got cookie num-nums to eat on the way home. And then we went over to Disney Springs. And then I got more cookies at Gideon's.
How long was the wait for Gideon's?
So, this was, call it pixie dust, call it luck, call it whatever. I walked up with the girl at the end of the line, said, virtual queue waits 3 hours. I said, I can't do 3 hours. We're about to head home. She said, and then she looked at her little iPad and said, oh, I actually just had a cancellation. The wait's going to be about 10 minutes. I said, sign me up.
Yeah, put me on the
I waited
list.
about 10 minutes for Gideon's. I got 3 cookies, the peanut butter cold brew, and it was lovely. I still have those cookies in my freezer, actually, for like a little treat every now and again.
Yes, that's so smart.
Yes, it was so good. And we did some shopping, just kind of wandered, and then it was time to go home.
That's
that
so
was
fun.
Synopsis of our trip.
That is fantastic. It sounds like such a great trip. I loved hearing about it. So I have to ask you what I ask everyone. What was your least magical moment of the trip?
Roundup Radio.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say that.
Unfortunately, that that's going to be what that's just it.
Yeah.
I will try it again later. For anybody who's like, how dare you? That's my favorite. I will give it a try later. Later. Let them get, everything in order, figure out how everything needs to work, and then maybe I'll try it again. Maybe when my kids are a little older.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, this is just so frustrating. So what was your most magical moment?
Oh gosh, there were so many. The biggest standout thing though was finishing my 10K in the fastest time. That just set the tone of the day. I was so excited. Just felt great. And then we had happily ever after that night, and I was like, "This is the perfect day."
I mean, it was the perfect day.
Oh yeah, it was just perfect. It was just perfect.
That's awesome. Is there anything else you want to say about your trip?
Oh gosh, I feel like I've talked the whole time. I think that's it. Just my biggest trip suggestion is remember that it's a vacation, and you don't have to do everything, because if you're a pass holder like me, or if you a pass holder too?
No.
Oh gosh, I have the pass holder mentality of I can just do it when I come back again.
Yes, no, that's so nice.
I mean, even if you do you buy tickets and this is your family vacation, remember it is a vacation. Take your time and enjoy it. And that's really what we did this trip, was we took our time and we really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and people also need to remember they will not do everything, so don't stress about it.
Oh no!
Just have fun.
I have a family at Disney right now who it's their very first time ever going, and they're like, "How do we fit everything in?" I'm like, "You don't.
Yeah.
You don't.
There's no way.
So
you have to be there for like a month.
Pick your top 5. Get your top 5 done. Anything else is extra magic.
Yeah, then you had a good day. If you can do your top 5, you had a good day.
Oh, absolutely. So that's the synopsis of our trip. We had a great time. I cannot wait. I'll actually be back at Disney in less than 10 days.
That's
less than 8
awesome.
days. Not even 8 days, like 6 days.
So
we're doing a Disney day, and then we're going on a cruise. So it's my very first cruise, my very first Disney cruise. I'm so excited.
That will be fantastic. So why don't you tell everyone where we can find you on Instagram? Because Morgan is such a great follow. I love following her page, and you should too. So where can they find you?
I am Mama with the Magic on Instagram. If you love Disney, you love fitness, you're kind of a hot mess, you love real life, you will get along well on my page. You can find me, follow me. I am all about a community. I want everybody to feel welcome. And so Mama with the Magic.
That's awesome. Thanks for coming on the show today, Morgan.
Hey, it's been so fun. I enjoyed chatting with you.
Thank you for listening today. I really appreciate you spending your time over here with us, and I hope this was just what you needed to hear today. I'm always looking for new guests for the podcast, so if you are traveling to any Disney park or cruise, see the show notes for more information about being on the show. Visit the show all around the web at DisneyTravelTales.com or find us on Instagram and Facebook at Disney Travel Tales. See pictures from the guests on their vacations. Plus, this is just a great way to stay up to date with all things related to the podcast and Disney travel in general. Join me next week with a brand new episode. So until then, this is Jenny, and may all your Disney travel dreams become a reality.